She touched my wrist. The alien nurse trembled and cried out, "You can't be real, human." Captain Elia's ward woke with a start. The air smelled faintly of antiseptic, sharp, but not unpleasant. His body ached in ways he could not immediately place, and his vision blurred before adjusting to the soft white lights above. The room was strange, too clean, too smooth, with walls that seemed to shimmer slightly. Something about it felt alive. He tried to move but found himself restrained gently by soft bands around his wrists and ankles. Panic rose briefly, then subsided as he realized the restraints were not tight, merely to keep him safe. Something or someone was in the room. A figure approached. Elia's eyes widened. She was unlike anyone he had ever seen. Her skin had a pale green tint, and her eyes were larger than normal, shimmering like liquid emerald. She wore a uniform that hugged her tall frame, the fabric changing color slightly as she moved. Every step she took seemed careful, deliberate, measured. Who are you?" Elias asked, his voice hoarse. The alien nurse froze. Her large eyes widened further and she gasped softly. She reached toward his wrist with one delicate hand, then stopped, trembling. You can't be real," she whispered. "Human." Elias blinked, confused. I am real. My name is Elias Ward. What is this place?" The nurse's hand hovered above his wrist, not touching, as though afraid that the warmth of his pulse would shatter her understanding of reality. "You humans are gone," she said finally, her voice shaking. "You should not exist. We have studied your kind in records. You are extinct. You are impossible." Elias frowned. "Extinct? I don't understand." His head throbbed. Bits of memory fluttered in and out. An accident during a warp jump, a bright flash, then darkness. He remembered waking up somewhere strange, the sound of unfamiliar alarms, the sensation of floating weightless before a sudden impact. The nurse's eyes searched his face, filled with a mix of awe and fear. How did you survive?" she asked quietly. Elias tried to shrug, but the movement hurt. I don't know. I woke up here. I think I was in some kind of accident. What is this place?" The nurse hesitated, glancing toward a panel on the wall. This is the orbital medical station over Vierlia. We care for all injured beings from nearby sectors. Your physiology, it is unlike anything I have treated. Your body, it functions differently." "You are extraordinary." Elias frowned, curious and cautious. "Extraordinary? I'm just human. Are you saying humans are extinct?" "Yes," she said softly, almost to herself. "We have believed it for centuries. Every record, every study confirms it. But you exist." He studied her carefully. Her face showed genuine wonder and fear at the same time. "I don't know why I'm here," he admitted. "I just woke up. Can you tell me what happened?" She shook her head. "I don't know. You arrived through the warp field anomaly near the outer rim. Our sensors detected a temporal and spatial fluctuation. We were not prepared for this. For you." Elia's mind raced. A warp field anomaly. Could it have thrown him light years across space? Could it explain why he appeared in a station orbiting an alien world, far from the human colonies he remembered? The nurse finally touched his wrist lightly, with a tentative hand. Elias felt a shock, not of pain, but of recognition, as if her touch confirmed that he was real. She gasped again and stepped back, trembling. "No," she whispered. This cannot be real. Humans, you are gone. You shouldn't exist." "I'm here," Elias said simply. "I don't know why, but I'm real." The nurse's large eyes glimmered with unshed tears. She took a deep breath and stepped closer, curiosity winning over fear. "I must examine you. Not because I doubt you, no. I must understand how your species survived. How you survived." Elias nodded cautiously. "Okay, but please tell me what's going on." Are you alone here?" She glanced around, then shook her head. "No, the station is staffed by others, mostly aliens. They are wary. They will not believe what they see. Your presence, it will be difficult for them to accept." "Then I need to be careful," Elias said. "I don't want to start a fight. I don't even know why I'm here." The nurse guided him gently to a bed-like structure. She moved with precision, her hands steady despite the obvious trembling that never left her face. Sensors on the walls and floor activated, scanning his body, projecting holographic readouts that only she could interpret. Your cells, they function at a level we have never observed, she murmured. Your healing, your adaptability, it is remarkable. You should not be alive in this environment, yet you are. I do not understand. Elias flexed his fingers, feeling the soreness of his muscles and joints. I'm just a human. I've survived tough situations before. I don't know why this is special. The nurse looked at him with something close to reverence. It is. Humans, you are capable of so much. Even when extinct, your species left a legacy. And now you are living proof. Elias felt a warmth at her words, though confusion still lingered. Then, what now? What do I do? You must remain here, she said carefully. For your safety and ours, others will come. They will want answers. Some may fear you, some may be hostile. Elias nodded slowly, realizing the weight of the situation. He had always thought humans were just another species, capable of survival through skill and courage. But now he understood that to these aliens, humanity was a legend, a myth that had somehow returned. As he lay back, exhausted from the warp journey and the shock of sudden awakening, he watched the nurse quietly working at the consoles, trying to reconcile his existence with the knowledge she had been given all her life. The station hummed with quiet life outside the room, lights flickering along corridors filled with beings who had never imagined a human walking among them. And Elias realized that his survival was only the beginning. He was not just alive, he was proof that humanity still had a place in the universe, and somewhere deep inside, he felt the first stirrings of purpose. He would need to navigate this strange world, earn trust, and survive. But for now, he allowed himself to rest, knowing that the touch of the alien nurse had confirmed something extraordinary. He was real. The nurse lingered a moment longer, her hand hovering over the bed's console. If you are truly human, she whispered, then perhaps the galaxy will never be the same again. Elias closed his eyes, letting the station's soft hum lull him into a fitful rest, unaware of the eyes that would soon turn toward him with fear, wonder, and hope. The universe had just remembered that humans were still here. Elias woke slowly, the soft hum of the station filling his ears. He felt slightly stronger, his aches less intense, though every movement reminded him that his body had been through an ordeal. The alien nurse, Lyra, stood nearby, watching him with an expression that mixed awe, caution, and something softer, curiosity. You slept well, she said carefully, her voice steady despite the tremor that never quite left her hands. But we cannot keep you hidden for long. Others will notice. Others? Elias asked, frowning. He pushed himself up slightly, testing his strength. Who else is here? Staff, other aliens, she said. Some will be curious, some fearful. Many will doubt that you are truly human. You may be seen as a threat. Elias felt a spark of determination. Humans survived by facing the impossible, not hiding from it. Then I need to understand this place in them, he said. I don't want to fight anyone, but I have to be ready. Lyra hesitated. It is not safe to wander freely yet. But I will help you. If you move carefully, you can observe, learn, and perhaps prove that you are not a threat. Together, they began a careful exploration of the medical wing. The station was vast, with corridors of smooth metal that seemed to hum with life. Holographic screens flickered with patient data, strange symbols moving across panels in patterns Elias could barely comprehend. Lyra explained some of the functions, pointing out devices that monitored vital signs, projected images of injuries, or dispensed medicine with precise accuracy. Your physiology is unlike anything we have treated, Lyra whispered as they paused before a scanning console. Your cells regenerate more efficiently. Your body adapts to stress faster than ours. You are remarkable. Elias touched the console, instinctively understanding its functions. "So this tech is advanced," he said. "It can track and heal many different species." "Yes," Lyra replied, "but your species was never meant to be here. That is what frightens them. They have studied humans in records, thought of us as a myth, extinct for centuries. To see you alive, it challenges everything they know." Their walk was interrupted by an alarm. Red lights flashed along the corridors, casting harsh glows on the smooth walls. Lyra tensed. "They know you are awake. We must move quickly." Elias followed her through twisting passages until they reached a secure observation room. Through thick glass, he could see the alien staff gathered in the central chamber, their long limbs and bright eyes flicking toward him with curiosity and fear. "Do they think I am dangerous?" Elias asked quietly. "They are unsure," Lyra said. "Some believe you may be a synthetic being, an experiment. Others cannot reconcile their records with your existence. You are a paradox." A voice echoed through the room, commanding and sharp. An older alien, distinguished by the gold markings along his uniform, approached the group. "Report," he demanded. Lyra's hand hovered over a panel. "There is an anomaly," she said. "The human, he arrived through the warp field near the outer rim. He is alive. He is real." The older alien froze, his eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Humans have been extinct for centuries. We have scanned all sectors. No trace remains. This cannot be." Elias stepped forward cautiously, raising his hands in a gesture of peace. "I am not here to harm anyone," he said. "I woke up after a warp accident. I don't know why I'm here, but I am real. My name is Elias Ward." The alien studied him for a long moment. "Your physiology, it is authentic," he said finally, his voice tight with disbelief. "Yet your existence contradicts all historical records. You are an anomaly." Lyra glanced at Elias. "I told you, they fear you, but they also need to understand." Elias nodded. He had survived situations that seemed impossible on his own planet. He could adapt and he could think fast. "Then let me help. Let me show you that I am not a threat. Let me prove that humans can be trusted." The aliens exchanged uncertain glances. Finally, the older one spoke. "We will monitor you closely. You will remain in the station. You will not leave without permission, but you may demonstrate your intentions." Elias agreed, understanding that trust would be earned through action, not words. Over the following hours, he observed the station, learning its patterns, understanding its systems, and quietly assisting where he could. He noticed that the alien staff followed rigid protocols, relying heavily on technology, but often failing to account for unexpected events. Humans thrived on improvisation. When a minor emergency erupted, a malfunction in the oxygen regulation system, Elias acted. The system's pressure levels were dropping too quickly, threatening patients in nearby wards. He studied the readouts, adjusted controls, and rerouted the flow manually, stabilizing the environment within moments. Lyra watched, her eyes wide. You saved them," she said softly. Elias shrugged. "I just noticed what needed to be done." Sometimes you have to act quickly without waiting for the perfect procedure. Word of his action spread quickly. The older alien observed him closely, now less fearful and more intrigued. "He is competent," the alien muttered. "This is unusual for humans." Perhaps their extinction was not final. Lyra approached Elias later in the quiet of the observation room. "You impressed them," she said, "but they are still cautious. They fear your existence will destabilize everything they know about the galaxy." "I understand," Elias replied. "I don't want to cause fear, but I also can't hide who I am. Humans have survived worse than this. We adapt, we learn, we endure. I'll show them that." Lyra's hand brushed his arm, tentative but comforting. "You are unlike anything I have ever seen," she said. "You are proof that humans are real and that they can survive against all odds." Elias smiled faintly. "Then I will survive, not just for me, but for anyone who believes in humanity's place in the galaxy." The next day, the station received a mysterious signal from deep space. one that bore the unmistakable markers of human technology. Alie studied it closely. It was weak, fragmented, but unmistakable. Humans were out there, somewhere, surviving and hidden. This signal, he said to Lyra, means I'm not alone. Humans are still alive. They've been waiting, watching, maybe even preparing. Lyra's eyes lit up with a mixture of fear and hope. Then perhaps your arrival was not an accident. Perhaps it was destiny. If humans are still out there, you are the bridge. You must show us and the galaxy that your species is not gone. Alie nodded, feeling a surge of determination. Humans had always been underestimated, dismissed, or written off, yet somehow they endured. Somehow they adapted and thrived where others would fail. And now he would have to prove it, not just to Lyra, not just to the aliens in the station, but to the entire galaxy. As the station hummed around him, sensors quietly tracking his every move, Alie realized that he was no longer just a survivor. He was a symbol, the first living human the galaxy had seen in centuries. And every action he took, every choice he made would define how humans were remembered or feared in the universe. Lyra stood beside him, her trembling replaced by a quiet resolve. Together, they began decoding the signal, piecing together the location of hidden human colonies, the fragments of a civilization thought extinct. The first step was understanding the signal. The second was proving that humans were capable of more than the galaxy had ever imagined. And the challenge was only beginning. Alie sat before the glowing console, the fragments of the human signal flickering across the display. His fingers moved quickly, instinctively adjusting frequencies, piecing together broken transmissions. Lyra hovered nearby, her eyes wide as she watched him work. "You're faster than the station's systems," she murmured. "You understand it in a way no one else can." Alie shook his head. "I've always been able to see patterns, figure out problems. Humans survive by thinking on their feet. That's what makes us different." The signal began to form a coherent message. Alie's heart pounded. It was a beacon coming from a remote human outpost hidden deep in uncharted space. For centuries, humans had survived in small pockets, avoiding detection, preserving knowledge, and waiting for a chance to return. Lyra gasped. "So your people, they are alive?" Alie nodded. "Yes, and I have to reach them, but first, I need to show these aliens that humans are not a threat, that we can work together." Before he could speak further, the station's alarm blared. Red lights flashed violently. Another system had begun to fail. A containment chamber holding experimental alien specimens was destabilizing, threatening a chain reaction that could destroy part of the station. Alie sprang into action. He scanned the readings, analyzing the failure. The aliens on the bridge panicked, unsure how to stop the growing crisis. Time was running out. "I can fix this," Alie called out, moving toward the chamber. "I need access." The older alien hesitated, then nodded. "Do what you must, but be careful." Alie studied the complex alien mechanisms. At first glance, they seemed impossible to manipulate without years of training. Yet, he saw the problem clearly. The containment's pressure regulators were out of sync with the cooling systems, creating a feedback loop. Humans thrived in improvisation, and he acted quickly, rerouting systems, adjusting energy flows, and stabilizing the chamber before catastrophe struck. The alarm ceased. The lights returned to normal. The aliens stared at him in stunned silence. Lyra's eyes shone. "You saved them," she whispered, almost disbelievingly. Alie breathed heavily. "I didn't do anything impossible. I just acted fast and adapted." The older alien stepped forward, his posture formal but his expression changed. "Your actions, they demonstrate qualities we have never observed in a human or any species. Intelligence, adaptability, courage under pressure. Perhaps your existence is not a threat but a gift." Other aliens nodded cautiously. Whispers filled the room. Some were still wary, but many began to see the truth. Humans, even thought extinct, were capable of remarkable feats. Lyra approached Elias. "You've proven your worth, but there is more to do. The signal it shows there are human colonies, hidden, scattered. They have knowledge, technology, maybe even allies. You must reach them, and you must convince these aliens to help or at least not interfere." Elias nodded. "Then we work together. I'll show them what humans can do, not just for survival, but for the benefit of all." Over the next hours, Elias and Lyra decoded more of the signal. It revealed coordinates, resource caches, and safe routes to reach the hidden colonies. Every piece of data he understood seemed to amaze Lyra, who had spent her life studying the galaxy but never imagined such ingenuity from a species thought extinct. "They've been hiding, waiting," Lyra said softly. "And now, maybe it's time they come back." Elias leaned closer to the console. "Humans survive because we adapt, we don't give up, and we help each other. That's why we've lasted. And now it's time to show that to the galaxy." But not all aliens were convinced. Some argued that humans' return could upset the balance of power, destabilize sectors, and even spark conflicts. The older alien, though impressed, cautioned that trust must be earned and alliances carefully built. Elias understood. Diplomacy was as important as survival. "Then I'll earn their trust," he said. "I'll show that humans can be allies, not threats, that we can protect, help, and adapt for the good of all." Lyra guided him to a secure communications room. Together they sent carefully worded signals to the station, demonstrating Elias' intent to cooperate. The message emphasized humans' willingness to help, not to conquer. Slowly, skepticism began to soften, replaced by cautious curiosity. As days passed, Elias learned more about the alien culture, their values, their fears. He shared stories of human survival, of how humans had endured catastrophes, wars, and isolation. Lyra acted as a translator of sorts, bridging the gap between Elias' words and the aliens' understanding. One evening, Lyra led him to the observation deck. Outside, the vast expanse of space stretched endlessly, dotted with stars and distant worlds. Elias felt a surge of hope. "They fear what they don't understand," Lyra said, her voice quiet. "But they also admire what they see. You've changed their minds in part. Soon, they may see humans not as myths but as partners." Elias gazed at the stars. "And the hidden colonies. Once I reach them, humans can return, not to conquer but to share knowledge, technology, maybe even help rebuild what the galaxy has lost." Lyra smiled faintly. "It is not just about survival anymore. It is about proving that humanity has value, that we are capable of more than they ever imagined." The next test came sooner than expected. A transport carrying alien supplies was attacked by space pirates. The station's defense system struggled to respond. Elias studied the controls, assessing the problem. The pirates' ships were fast, unpredictable, and armed with advanced weapons. "I can help," Elias said. "I can anticipate their movements. I've survived worse. We can defend the transport." The aliens hesitated, then nodded. Elias took control of the tactical systems, predicting the pirates' maneuvers, coordinating defenses with precision. He anticipated patterns, improvised strategies, and directed the alien ships to protect the transport successfully. When the attack ended, the older alien approached him, his usual formality replaced by respect. "You saved lives today," he said. "Your actions, they show that humans are not just survivors. You are capable of leadership, courage, and wisdom. Perhaps the galaxy needs more of your kind." Elias felt a deep satisfaction. Humans had always survived by acting decisively, adapting to challenges, and helping others. Today, he had shown that humans could not only endure but also inspire trust and respect in others. Lyra stood beside him, her trembling replaced by calm resolve. "You've done more than I imagined. The station, the aliens, they will follow your lead now, cautiously, but they will follow. And the human signal soon, it will guide you to others like you." Elias nodded, determination burning in his eyes. Then we keep moving forward. We find the hidden colonies. We reconnect humanity. And we show the galaxy that humans are not extinct. They are alive and capable of great things. Outside the observation deck, the stars shimmered like distant fires, reminding him of all the worlds waiting to be touched by the return of humanity. He clenched his fists, ready for the next challenge, the next adventure, and the next chance to prove that humans, even thought extinct, were a force to be respected and admired. Lyra placed her hand gently on his shoulder. "It will not be easy," she said. "But nothing worth doing ever is. You are not alone anymore, Elias. We will face this together." Elias smiled faintly, gazing at the distant stars. For the first time in centuries, humanity had a chance to be remembered, and he would make sure that chance was not wasted. The universe had not seen the last of humans, and this time, when humans returned, they would return stronger, wiser, and ready to reclaim their place among the stars. The station buzzed with quiet activity as Elias and Lyra prepared for the next phase. The human signal had been fully decoded. It pointed to a hidden colony on a distant planet, protected by natural defenses and cloaking technology. For centuries, humans had survived there, avoiding contact with the wider galaxy. Now Elias would be the first to reconnect them with the universe. The older alien approached, his expression serious but respectful. "Captain Ward," he said, "your actions have proven humans are capable of much, but revealing your existence carries risks. Not all civilizations will respond with curiosity. Some may see humans as threats." Elias nodded. "I understand, but hiding humanity forever is not the answer. If humans survived, we can help. We can share knowledge, rebuild, and strengthen bonds. Fear will fade when they see what we are capable of." Lyra stepped beside him. "And you will not be alone. I will assist you, guide you, and speak for you among the aliens here. They trust you cautiously, but they do." Elias felt a sense of calm determination. The path forward was clear. He would find the colony, reconnect humanity, and demonstrate that humans could be allies, protectors, and innovators. The journey to the hidden human world was tense. Sensors scanned for hostile ships. Warp fields were calculated with care. Elias piloted the ship with precision, guided by instinct and experience. Every jump through space brought him closer to a reunion with a civilization that had survived against impossible odds. Finally, the planet appeared, a lush world with towering forests and crystal-clear oceans. Hidden in the mountains were the human outposts, carefully camouflaged and shielded from sensors. Elias' heart raced as he prepared to make contact. Lyra whispered beside him, "They've been waiting for this. They will recognize you." Elias nodded. He activated the beacon, a subtle signal carrying his identity as a human. Moments later, ships emerged from the hidden valley, small, agile, and unmistakably human in design. They approached cautiously, scanning for threats. Then one of the ships transmitted a simple message, "Human detected, welcome home." Elias smiled, relief and pride surging through him. "They're real, they've survived." As the human ships landed, Elias and Lyra were greeted by a group of humans, older and younger, all bearing the marks of survival, adaptation, and resilience. They studied him with wonder, curiosity, and recognition. You are real," one elder said, stepping forward. "We thought humanity was lost, but here you are." "I am Elias Ward," he said, bowing slightly, "and I've come to reconnect humans with the galaxy. We have survived, we can endure, and we can help." The humans examined Lyra with cautious curiosity. Elias explained her role, her help, and her understanding of their people. Slowly, the humans began to see that not all aliens were enemies, and some could be allies in rebuilding the galaxy. Back on the station, news of the successful contact spread quickly. The aliens who had doubted him now observed the humans with respect. They witnessed the reunion, the ingenuity, and the collaboration. Slowly, fear transformed into admiration. Humans were not myths. They were real, capable, and worthy of trust. Elias spent days coordinating between the station and the hidden colony. He demonstrated human ingenuity in solving complex logistical problems, planning safe travel routes, and sharing medical knowledge. He showed how humans could adapt technology to new environments, repair systems quickly, and act decisively under pressure. Lyra watched him closely. "They are beginning to understand," she said softly. "They see humans not as legends or threats but as partners." "Your leadership, it is changing minds." Elias nodded. "Humans have always survived by working together, learning quickly, and helping each other. That's what makes us strong. Now, I want to show the galaxy the same." The older alien who had once doubted him approached with a formal bow. "Captain Ward," he said, "your actions have rewritten what we believed about humans. You have proven intelligence, courage, and adaptability. Your species is extraordinary. The galaxy will remember this day." Elias smiled, feeling a sense of fulfillment he had not known in years. "Then we begin a new chapter. Humans are here not to conquer but to contribute, to share knowledge, protect life, and survive alongside others. That is who we are." The following weeks were filled with collaboration. Humans and aliens worked together to stabilize sectors affected by past wars, share technology, and create alliances. The hidden human colonies began to open communication lines with other civilizations, carefully and with guidance from Elias and Lyra. The galaxy slowly changed. Where there had been fear, there was now curiosity. Where there had been doubt, there was respect. Humans, thought extinct, became symbols of resilience, innovation, and hope. One evening, Elias and Lyra stood on the observation deck of the station, looking out at the stars. Ships from human colonies and alien civilizations moved through space, a web of cooperation and trust slowly forming. "You did it," Lyra said quietly. "You've shown them what humans can do." Elias smiled faintly. "We did it. Humans survived, yes. But we couldn't have done it alone. You helped, and the aliens learned that fear isn't the answer. Understanding is." Lyra looked at him with admiration. "The galaxy will never forget this. Humans are alive and stronger than anyone expected." Elias gazed at the distant stars. "This is just the beginning. Humanity will grow, learn, and adapt, and we will prove time and again that we are capable of more than anyone thought possible." The station hummed softly around them. Beyond the observation windows, the galaxy stretched endlessly, full of possibilities, challenges, and opportunities. Elias felt a surge of hope. Humanity had returned, not as myths or ghosts, but as living proof that survival, ingenuity, and courage could overcome even the greatest odds. Lyra placed her hand on his shoulder. "We have a long road ahead," she said. "But for the first time in centuries, humans have a place among the stars, and it is a place of respect, of hope, and of trust." Elias nodded. "Then we move forward. Humanity will no longer be forgotten, and the galaxy will see what we are capable of." As they watched fleets of human and alien ships navigate the stars, Elias felt the weight of history and the promise of the future. Humans were not extinct. Humans were alive, thriving, and ready to leave a mark on the universe. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy remembered. Humanity had returned.